Alright guys, this is Grandmaster K, back to doing karate talk. Ooh, gosh. Cancer treatment is over. Next couple karate talks will probably be a sit down one. I was going to move my couch and try to do the deep yoga poses I used to do. Honestly, I'm going to share the pictures of me in my yoga poses. To talk about what the poses are as part of this video. I do some yoga still, for try to get some of the stretches in, but I can't do the poses like I used to do them. I still do the warrior one where you stand up. Alright. We try not to get cut off here. I don't know how high this thing's filming. The warrior one, you have your legs. Boom. I still do some of those power yoga poses. Honestly, I just didn't have the energy to move my couch. Because I had to make this into my workout room. I had to move my couch, I had to move furniture around, all that stuff, and then I had to move it all back. It's a heck of a, that right there is a heck of a workout. I will be doing that on Thursday though when I do my workout. I'm going to be doing another workout on Thursday. Okay, here we go. In the last karate talks, I was talking about, the yin and yang. I talked about, just to do some reviews, talked about some proper breathing exercises, about meditation. Because I think I went over the 3 breaths of Chi Gung. Okay? The 3 breaths: hypoventilation, holding the breath. Right? Because it's hard to beat faster, as we restore the pH balance of the body. The blood, sorry. Hyperventilation, which you don't want to do. Don't want to hyperventilate too much. But it saturates the body of oxygen. Right? And it causes the blood to become more alkaline rather than acidity. And then proper breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Produces a calmness and relaxation. Okay? And that was some of the essence of the Chi Gung breathing. And I talked about some of the deep meditation. Reflect on the one thought while sitting, cross-legged, or kneeling. Okay? Relax your body. Focus and release the tension. Just focus on the one thought. Okay? Breathe in through the nose 4 times, out through the mouth. Hold for 4 counts. Right? Breathe out through the mouth 4 counts. Do this 4 times. Okay? It's a breathing exercise that I still teach. I was still teaching my students when I was teaching classes. Speaking of that, I do have another Facebook page. And it was on my last video. I made a really nice long 15-minute ending, which is the ringing the bell. The video part, the ringing the bell was short, but I did a did some venting, some stuff I'm going through my house, my roof, and everything else. But and then I'll talk about my new Facebook pages. I have Tymon Leigh and Tyger Leigh, my two personalities, my feminine and masculine side. Okay, Tymon Leigh is my masculine side. Tyger Leigh is my feminine side. My masculine side is the tiger. The feminine side is she's a mermaid. So those are the creatures and animals to embrace. And feminine side loves the purple and of course the swimming and all that stuff. And my masculine side loves yellow. It's my favorite color. It really is yellow. I do a lot of yellow and purple in my clothing line. Yeah. They both love pop music. Yep, that's my secret passion, pop music. I also love biking. They both love that one, out of the water. And so when I put both sides together, it is all my interest. It really is all my interest, you know. The swimming, the martial arts, the seeking for mermaids, being a sailor, being an adventurer, being an explorer. It's really all my interest, you know. But my interests were actually in two sides, my feminine and masculine side. And I embrace both sides, okay? I embrace both sides. And so I have two separate Facebook pages. Yeah! Alright, I'm coming. Take two. Anyway, you get it, alright? My wife needed water. She's out there doing the weed eating. Hey, such a big man. And I used to spray the weeds with poison, but then the weeds got used to the poison. And then last year I made my own poison to try to kill them, and it dried up some of the weeds. We still had to dig the weeds out. So it made more work. And these weeds are ruthless out here in New Mexico. There's no way to kill them. You dig them up with the roots, they come right back. You put every poison known to man on them. Organic poisons. I've used things in my cupboard to try to kill them, making my own organic, you know, weed killers. Organic weed killers they used to use at home that would actually kill all the grass in the yard. But the ruthless out here. The weeds just start to strive on it. They actually start to grow bigger and stronger. So there's no way to kill weeds out here, sadly. And that's if any of you guys have any ideas, let me know. And I'll be out in the land dragging on Saturday. I drag every Saturday. Because I do a karate, try to do a karate talk once a month. Today's Tuesday. So Tuesday is usually one of my general workout videos I'm here. But not workout days. And then Thursday is another one of my workout days. Wednesday is one of my personal just study days. Try to learn something new because, you know, I have a master in sociology and I still have a lot of questions. I'm always trying to learn things. And then Friday, I do try to get some things done. Friday, I'm going to be actually be cleaning the shed out again. You know, the dirt out here in New Mexico just comes to the shed. No matter how many times you lock windows, close them tight. So I'm going to be cleaning my shed on that. But, you know, there's always something to do. You know, my wife and I, we do stay busy. You understand what I was talking about. So you can follow me in one of those two Facebook pages I was just talking about. Let's get back to this, and I was just talking about the deep meditation. Okay, let's rephrase on the Taki Namido bamboo wave. Be like bamboo. Bend with it. When a bad thought crashes upon you, let it go. Bam! Now that's easier said than done. And I want to be honest. I'm angry. I'm angry at this current administration. I'm angry at what's going on. Trump was one evil felon, convicted felon. I didn't even. I always cared about the Constitution when I was in the service, and I never thought a convicted felon would ever become a president. And this guy is destroying our country. And I get a lot of bad thoughts, a lot of things that boom, and I just want to, oh man, And like I said, it's easier said than done, especially right now in this current administration. But the principle is be strong, be like bamboo, bend with it, right? And let thoughts go, and then focus on the positive, right? And then Bakuso is the way of meditation, right? And I have a quote down here at the end that, can you bend like bamboo in the wind? Can you not hurt back even if you've been hurt? Can you become less active and be passive? You have to balance, the yin and yang balance, active and passive. But sometimes you have to be less active and be a little bit passive. But now is the time to be active. Now is the opposite time. Now is the time to be active. I don't want to make this video critical. So I get my thoughts. Yeah, that radiation therapy. Yeah. I don't want this to be critical, but I want you guys do know my feelings on these things, and I always try to be honest in my videos, Okay. Alright, let's get on with today's actual video now.
Tymon from my new Kicking It With the Kerofskys channel.
Health of the martial arts. That's part of the health of the martial arts. Keeping your mind healthy. Remember the aspects: spirit, mind, and body. Spirit, you don't believe in Jehovah God. My God is Jehovah. I believe in Him. By now I don't know what the heck He's doing, but I believe in Him. But everybody has a higher power. Everybody should have a higher belief that they believe in. Something that takes them. And because that him, it could be Buddha, it could be Shinto, way of the gods, many gods. It could be anything what you believe in, because they're all different beliefs out there. And we have to accept it. It could be Allah, which actually means God. Because God itself is a general term. You could be Islam, you could be, and I have Islamic friends, and one of my best friends was Islamic, and he passed away. But the higher power, the higher purpose, and that's to the spirit that controls you, right? Controls your mind, and your mind controls your body. You have to keep all aspects healthy. Spirit, to my prayer, to praying my rosary, because I'm coming back to my Catholic faith, Catholic faith, and I pray the rosary. So my spirit, trying to get that healthy again. My mind, I'm trying to keep that healthy again by trying to focus on positive things, which is harder and harder to do. And now the body, that's the third aspect of keep staying healthy, the health of the martial arts. What do we put on our body? We want to have wholesome, natural foods. That's what you want, wholesome, natural foods. Try to avoid too many additives, try to avoid too much chemicals that they put in food, try to avoid too many processed things. But that's what you want, okay? Vitamins and the minerals in foods and what they do, what it does, and the best sources of. Right? This is from one of my Navy food service manuals, and I actually pass this out to my students. You know, my students can request anything. And like I said, I want to get more students out here in Tymon, New Mexico, and I made a new page. I made a new Tymon martial arts page called Kerofsky Dojo. I made a new Kerofsky Dojo page, and I wouldn't mind getting a few more people to teach, to carry on my teachings and my knowledge. Alright. Vitamin A. Okay, one of the things it does is it helps the skin. Okay, good source. Cabbage, lettuce, carrots, tomatoes, really great sources of vitamin A. Vitamin B1, thiamine, good for the heart and nerves. Coconuts, cabbage, radishes, great sources of vitamin B1. Vitamin B2, riboflavin, good for energy, stamina. Apples, carrots, spinach. I put spinach in my drinks. I like to eat my green apples. Right? Vitamin B3, niacin, aids in digestion. Tuna, tuna fish. Other fishes, fruits. That's actually all I got on there. Anyway, vitamin B6, peroxidine hydrochloride. It breaks down amino acids in the body. It breaks down the amino acid. So you want grains for this one. You want grains. You want nuts. Even certain berries. Right? Vitamin B12. Cinnamon. That's a really long word, hard to pronounce, okay? People that say vitamin B12. Right? It helps with the longevity of the body. I just put that down on my martial arts terms. Right? Anyway, those who lack in this vitamin get rickets. And this vitamin is mostly found in red meat. But you also want to limit your intake of red meat as well. You want to balance it, right? Because too much red meat is not good. Because red meat is a very slow meat that digests. It's a slow digesting meat, okay? So you want to balance it. But the best source is the red meat, and also in eggs. Also in eggs and vitamin C, azobic acid. But people, the sailors that lacked vitamin C, the ones that lacked, the sailors, they got scurvy. Okay? So, and it's also great for when you have illnesses and when you're sick or when you have colds, right? And it helps with the metabolic functions in the body. Right? Because citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, believe this or not, one of the best sources of vitamin C is grapes. Also, pineapple and rhubarb have vitamin C in it. But grapes is actually the best source. Right? Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. Because you get that when you're out in the sun. So they say you want to get a little sunlight each day. You want to get a little sunshine each day. It helps with the health of the body. Right? It also helps with being joyful, and it helps with the attitude. It helps you from being too depressed. I mean, out here we got the mountains. Right. My camera's right there, but in the corner, the camera, there's the Dragon Ridge, the mountain range, the Dragon Ridge Range, and man alive, it is beautiful. It's beautiful. Nature out here. And so go outside, get that sunshine, watch the sunset set, watch the sunrise, bike ride, go by the mountains. Alright? Well, this is some of the things I do, okay? And also, vitamin D helps prevent cramping, okay? Cod liver oil, fish oil, right? Also in milk. And it's also added to 2% milk. There's vitamins A and D and sometimes in the 2% milk. Right? Vitamin E. Good for muscles in the hair. Leafy greens. Best source is leafy greens. Right? That's why they say to eat a lot of green. What do you think they hand you all those green drinks when you go to those fancy spas? Because they work with the hair and the nails and all that stuff. Vitamin E is good for that. It helps the keratin also grow. Right? Vitamin K, the clotting of the blood. helps the clotting of the blood. Like if you get, when you get a wound, right? Right? This one is also in the greens too. Best source is spinach, kelp, yeah. Spinach, kelp, seaweed, and kale. Now, minerals. Calcium. It's good for the bones and the teeth. Cheese, milk, and berries. Chlorine. Yeah, what's this? Also improvement swimming pool to keep the water pure, right? It helps expel waste and purify the blood. It purifies the pool. Fruit, especially apples, right? So that's what I wrote on there. Fruit, especially apples, right? Copper. That's why I like to cook on copper pans and iron pans, because those are actually minerals that's actually in the body. I don't like to cook on aluminum because aluminum is not a mineral that's in the body, right? Copper helps with the absorption of the iron, right? Here you go again, leafy greens and fruits. Iodine. It helps the thyroid gland function. That's why you find it in iodized salt. Iodized salt has to be a specifically iodized salt. Okay. You'll also find it in prunes and tomatoes. Iron. The building of the red corpuscles in the blood. Liver. Oh man, I love me my liver. Oh. I soak my liver in milk to get it tender a little bit, and I put it in a slow cooker, and then, darn man, that's good. I don't like it with the onions. I'm a little different. I like it with the mushroom gravy. I put fresh mushrooms in there, and I make a gravy that cooks itself in the crock pot, and then I have my liver and my mushrooms, and oh my God, it's good. And you also will find it in oats and beans, nuts, bananas, and tomatoes. Right? The iron. Magnesium helps keep the bones hard. That's good for the bones. And another thing that's good with the bones is what? Calcium. Bones and teeth. There you go. Nuts, grains, berries, rice, oats. Rice. There's a lot of rice in Asia. Right? Phosphorus. Maintains the alkalinity in the blood. Alkalinity, the alkaline in the blood. And this one will be found in cereal grains, right? Grapes, soybeans. Potassium helps organs function. Helps the organs function of the body. The heart, the liver, kidneys. Organs of the body helps the organs function. Okay? Bananas is the best source of potassium. I put bananas in my drinks. You can find it in nuts and greens as well. Sodium. But you don't want too much sodium. You don't want too much salt. Because sodium, the best source of sodium is salt. But it builds the digestive juices. right? Salt grains, nuts, and beetroot. Sulfur. I'll take a breather after this one. It helps keep the body purified. I just put fruits and vegetables. And zinc is good for the organs and muscles. And this one I just put nuts. There's nuts. Alright? Give me a breather. I'll be right back. Take fucking 3. Take 3. Take 3. Alright. I just broke down the vitamins and herbs. I mean minerals, I'm sorry. And I won't get to herbalism, so herbalism will be Karate Talk 11. Karate Talk 11 will be herbalism itself. That's the one I got marked actually with the DVD the guy gave me on the ship. Just had it in a plastic thing. Apocalypse Now. You talk about a great movie, man. It's a movie I'd like to watch since one of the actors just died. Anyway, yeah, so I have the top 30 Chinese herbs. That's going to be my next one. And I'm also going to talk about the Ayurveda. It's a traditional herb medicine in India. And that would be it. Yeah. So that would be a whole karate talk on itself too. So, you know, the karate is not just about punching, I'm gonna learn to punch a kick and all that stuff. No, karate is a life thing, man. It really is a life thing, right? I mean, the health of the body, you know, the health of the mind, of your spirit. It's, you don't know about the herbs that and what's good and what's not good for the body. You don't know about, you know, the nutrients and minerals and the pressure points, the acupoints. I think I talked about that one already. If I didn't, I'll do a karate talk on it. But there's so many different karate talks I want to do. So, you know, karate is not just about learning how to punch and kick. It's learning how to live a proper life, of well-being, of character. I mean, to become a grand master, you got to have a lot of character. This is what I call micronutrients. But the nutrients that you need every day. You need these every single day. Right? Protein. Protein builds muscle tissue, repairs torn tissue, and creates mass. The best sources are meat. But you don't want to eat too much meat, especially red meat, because it's so digestive meat, like I already said. Eggs, fish, nuts. Now, when I say fish, supplement. Don't like cook a big piece of salmon or a big piece of trout or whatever. But you can eat cans of sardines. I love my different various sardines. There's different sardines I'm still trying to find. I want to find the King Oscar pepper sardines. The one with the black peppers. I think those are going to be good. I've tried the Spanish ones. They had them out here for a while, but I can't find those anymore. But there's so many different varieties of sardines now. I mean, my gosh, and sardines are good. I mean, there's some people, I can't taste. But man, get all those different varieties, they're good. It ain't just in tomato sauce anymore, or just in the oil anymore, but you can find them in everything now. You know? And wow. Fats, trace amounts of fats, but you don't want to eat too much fat. Because, you know, just like you don't want to eat too much sugar. If you eat a lot of sugar and you're not active, the sugar will convert to fat. Alright? I'm not a doctor, but I was in the food service industry, okay? And I know about what's in food and what we learn through food studies, okay? And so always consult your doctor before you change the diet, okay? But these are just general, what vitamins are. This is just general stuff, okay? But there are 3 different types of fat. We didn't know. There were 3 different types of fat, okay? Saturated fats, found in foods of animal origin. And some oils, vegetable oils. And it can raise the blood cholesterol. So you want to be careful. Don't want to eat too much saturated fat. Monounsaturated fat is found in olive oil, peanut oil, and canola oil. It helps reduce the blood cholesterol. So monounsaturated fats are kind of good for the body because they help reduce the blood cholesterol. Then there's polyunsaturated fats. They're found in foods of plant origin. Plant foods. Yes, plant foods have fats. Safflower, sunflowers, corn, and soybean. This also helps reduce the blood cholesterol. Now, fat is stored in the body. It helps keep you warm. It provides 9 calories per gram. 9 calories per gram. Alright? But too much fat will build up in the body and will add weight. Right? Now I already talked about sugar, how that can convert to fat. That converts to fat if it's not been not active, because sugar itself will burn off quickly if you're active. But you don't want too much sugars. You don't want to eat more sugars than what you can burn off in a day. Okay? One of the biggest sources of fat is red meat, which does not digest easily. I already said that. However, a person does need a little red meat in the diet to provide vitamin B12, which I already talked about. Grapefruit. Now this one is a good one. Grapefruit will help fat burn off. Fat is also contained in butter, margarine, and whole milk. Alright. Now I'm sorry to say this, but don't listen to JFK Jr. because he really doesn't know what he's talking about. Because he ain't going to give you the benefits and the health resources. He's not going to give you some of the dangers of eating too much of something. Okay? like I'm trying to do here in this discussion. Because I was in food service for 13 years, okay? I was a cook. And I learned about all these nutrients and stuff, right? And I passed this down to my students, right? Now there's cholesterol, a micronutrient called cholesterol. Cholesterol is the soft, waxy substance. It's a soft, waxy substance, okay? It's made in sufficient quantity by the body itself. The cholesterol is actually produced in the body, okay? For normal body function, right? It is used to manufacture hormones. Bile acid and vitamin D. Cholesterol carries vitamins A, D, E, and K. So it helps carry those vitamins to the body. A, D, E, and K through the body. Alright? There are two types of cholesterol. Blood cholesterol, manufactured by the liver and absorbed from food. Alright? A high level of blood cholesterol can lead to coronary heart disease. So you don't want too much cholesterol. Dietary cholesterol, found in foods of animal origin. It tends to raise the blood cholesterol, which increases the risk of heart disease. So that's why you don't want to eat too much meat. That's why you want to balance everything. Your meat, your vegetables, your grains. Alright? That's why it has to be all in balance. And some of the grains will help break down some of these cholesterols and fats that you eat. Some of the fruit that you eat will help break down some of those things in the body. Everything has a purpose. Like I was talking about the vitamins and herbs and what it does. Vitamins, minerals, and what it does. Alright? Carbohydrates. There are two types of carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates. Sugar, honey, brown sugar, molasses, and syrups. It can burn off quickly. I already said that. And it gives a quick energy boost. That's what they say when you get a sugar rush. You get a lot of sugars and you get that sugar rush, you get that boost of energy. But then all of a sudden, you crash. You go, man, I'm tired, right? Because that sugar, when it burns off, you don't want that sugar rush, okay? But this one's more important. The complex carbohydrates. It's found in starchy food like potatoes, noodles, rice, starchy foods. It burns off during a period of time. It burns off during a period of time. It will give prolonged energy. Fiber. Fiber is the bulk of the body. It's like a broom which cleanses out the body by pushing food waste through. Okay? There are two types of fiber. Soluble fiber. It lowers cholesterol levels, reduces heart disease risk, and improves blood sugar. Which can lower the blood pressure, okay? So when I say when a person has high blood pressure, what are you supposed to eat? The sources: apples, cabbage, carrots, peas, nuts, blackberries, things like that, that helps lower the blood cholesterol. Alright? There's insoluble fiber, which aids digestion, aids elimination, promotes regularity, and contributes to the bowel cleansing, bowel movements, taking a, crap. Right? The best sources of this is raspberries, celery, rice, bran, beans. It's just beans. And yogurt. The difference between soluble and insoluble fiber is the moisture content. Soluble fiber has more moisture content and breaks down more. Insoluble fiber acts more like the broom because it doesn't break down as much as soluble fiber. That's pretty much the difference. Now I have water. Water. Life. Water is life. Water brings life. Water can also destroy life. Floods, rain. Rain can be good because it for the crops and fields and all that stuff. Too much rain causes the flooding. It causes landslides and mudslides and especially at the burn scars and all that stuff, right? Wind in the water in the oceans and destroy ships. I know I can go on and on, but water, is a very important thing. It's often known as the forgotten nutrient. The forgotten nutrient. It is needed to replace body water lost in urine and sweat. Water helps transport nutrients, removes waste, and regulate the body temperature. Water also provides minerals. A person should drink 6 to 8, maybe even more, glasses of water a day. And I said maybe more. I guess I consult your doctor on diet. But I always tell my students at least 6 to 8. I'd also help. You can also tell when a person has really, really dry skin. Now, sometimes dry skin is caused by other things, but like eczema and stuff. But you can kind of tell, if a person's getting enough water. I mean, water is a very, very, very important thing. So make sure you drink plenty and plenty of water a day, okay? You have to drink more water during the hot weather, of course, to prevent dehydration and when a person is more active. Alright, so I'm going to briefly talk about yoga. Yoga is derived from the Hindu religion. It is over 3,000 years old. The book of Hindu is the Bhagavad Gita, meaning the Song of God. The word yoga means yoke, which means discipline. There are 5 yokes. They are Jnana Yoga, knowledge, Bhakta, love, Karma, work, Raga, meditation, Hatha, spirit. The Hindus believe in 3 gods that are Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, Shiva, the destroyer. Those are the three main gods, and then there's a lot of deities and stuff in the Hindu religion. I'm not going to go into all of that, okay? They believe in three paths. Path of desire, pleasure, and success. Path of renunciation, life's full closing. And then reincarnation, to return again in another spirit or as an animal. I hope I return as a tiger or a mermaid. Right? I believe mermaids can be real. I'll talk about that in a Truth Talk video. Right? Section 1 of Truth Talk videos are playing. Okay, anyway. The wants of man. The wants of man. Pleasure, success, duty. Men want a sense of duty and liberation. Alright? What men seek being want to belong. Knowledge, want to have knowledge and wisdom. And joy. And I think women pretty much seek the same thing too. Being knowledge and joy. We all want to belong. We all want to have some type of knowledge. We all want to have some happiness. Right? Now it's talking about the Tyger root. The one I practice is Raha Yoga with the different postures and stuff. The meditation, and you do the different postures, okay? Alright, and I'm going to show pictures of that. Like I said at the beginning, I'm going to show pictures of that. Alright? The reason why I'm doing the yoga, because remember I talked about the triangle, spirit, mind, and body. The yoga is also, the meditative in the mind. And it's also part of the body as you stretch. Because you do want to exercise and stretch each day. I mean, if you get older, as it gets harder and harder to move, do some stretches in your bed when you get up. Try to, get down on your knees and stretch this way and try to reach your arms up and do some type of stretches each day to keep the body moving. Particularly in the morning, because that's the best time to stretch is in the morning, because it's a great way to start the day, right? You do some type of exercises. Like, I can't do as much as I used to do, and I am getting older. But I lay my legs over my cot, and I do my crunches. Right? I do push-ups against the wall. I still practice some Tai Chi. Sometimes I still do some of my seated exercises that I showed on my videos. Right? You gotta keep moving. Right? Okay. So here's the proper diet and health that the Hindus believe. Eat natural, wholesome food. I was already talking about that. Maintain proper breathing. I mentioned that in the meditation. The practice of relaxation. Keeping the mind and the body relaxed and focused. Okay? Some type of regular exercise. And then the practice of concentration. Now, there are games that's really good out there that helps with concentration, helps keeping the mind sharp. I mean, I'm not just talking crossword puzzles, but I'd like to do word finds, which is another good one. Sudoku and other games that help keep the mind sharp. There's also some certain video games. Like on my PS3, I have a video game called, I think it's called Mind Doctor or something. Don't quote me on it. And I used to play that a lot when I was in college because it helped keep my mind sharp. And some of those things were actually quite hard, So there's certain card games that I play to help keep the mind sharp. You know, I played a game called Evil Kings, and even though it's a counting game, it helps keep the mind sharp. It's so do something to help keep the mind sharp and concentrate. I'll just give you some suggestions, okay? The best yoga exercises for tension and stress is just breathing exercises. And when you're feeling fatigued, the shoulder stand and the rocking back bend. And like I said, I'm going to show all these postures in the pictures. Proper poor digestion, the abdominal lift, the squatting pose, the head to the knees, and then when you're laying on the ground, and you pull your knees up. And that's actually one of my morning stretches. At the end of the ground, I pull my knees up, okay? Back, for the back and legs, so help keep it, flexible. The lotus, the camel, the bow, the swan, and the head and neck, the corpse posture, just laying there, just laying on the corpse, helps keep the back straight. And also you can go on the back, one of those backboards, okay? And then yoga terms. Let me talk about yoga terms, okay? Real fast, and that'll be the end of this one. And be sure to watch my next one where I talk about herbalism, okay? Yama, ethics. Niyama, religion. Asana, posture. Punyama, breathing exercise. Pratyahara, senses. Dhyana, concentration. Dhyana, meditation. Samvati, super consciousness. When you think about 1,000-petal lotus, when you're sitting in a lotus posture, in the cross leg, and then you can reach that super consciousness and actually float. I've never actually reached that type of level, but they say it does exist. That's the end of my video. I hope you guys learned something about nutrition and health, and the health of the martial arts. Thank you. This is Grandmaster Kerofsky.